Okay, in this question, we are going to be talking about the area of a partial circle. Areas of a partial circle. So, to start this off, we need a problem. Let's pretend that we are a landscape. We've got all kinds of money, and we are going to build a house. Okay, so that green part that I just drew, that's your yard. And then, like over here, we've got our house. You know, this is the house. It's sitting over there. Now, it's not a really great house, but you get the idea. It goes right off the top of the page. And of course, we can color in the house. It's a really nice house, and it probably even is going to have some windows on it, right? We got a couple of windows. And we might even have a back slider door on this thing, right? Here's the slider door where you can go in and out. Okay, so there's the house. Now I'm standing in the backyard. I'm sort of looking down at the backyard. And I don't know why, but we've got all kinds of crazy money for this house. And we're going to do a really cool landscaped backyard with this sort of circular sort of thing happening. But then we also want to make sure that we get a cool deck. So while over here we have all of these like shrubberies, we've got these little shrubberies. It's like mulch, okay? And maybe a couple flowers. I'll put some flower heads on those. And some more shrubberies. We need some flower heads on those. So here we go. We need some little flowers heads. And maybe another little flower over there. And I'm going to add a little more color. So we'll add some purple in there. You know, these are, again, little flowers over here. So all of this around the edge, all of this space, this is all like mulch, okay? This in the middle, this is our grass. So I guess we should probably paint that sort of a greenish. So this in here, this is our grassy lawn in here. Well, we at least hope it will become our grassy lawn. And then this part over here, this is our fancy deck, okay? We got a really fancy deck. I mean, it's like goes even two directions on this fancy deck, see? Because it's a multi-tiered deck. And okay, here's our railing. And then, of course, over here along this side, we probably have some more fancy flowers over here. So we got to put in some other little bits. So we got some fancy flowers. I think these are lovely flowers around the side. So anyway, the question here really is we got to plant the grass. We have to plant the grass in this area here, which is sort of this odd-shaped partial circle. Now let's pretend that it's an actual circle and that this was actually to the center of the circle, and that was a nice even radius. I see it's a little bit off, but it's pretty good. Okay. So now what do we know? Let's assume a couple of things. Let's assume that this radius of this circle is 22 feet. And let's also assume that this angle, right there, that angle is 171 degrees. 171 degrees. Okay, so anyway, there's the whole picture. And we need to buy some grass seed. How much grass seed do we need? They sell it, if you didn't know, they sell it by the square foot. So it comes in a bag and says, this bag of 30 pounds will fertilize 200 square feet. And so you have to know how much square feet of lawn you have. And of course, if you have a square rectangular lawn, it's a lot easier, length times width. But here you're like, I don't know. So what do we need to do? We need to break out the math that we remember. The area of a circle is equal to pi times r squared. But then we said we can make it more generic if we simply said a 2 pi divided by 2. So we didn't actually change anything here. We just made it a little more interesting. So now this 2 pi here, being that we're talking about the area of a circle, refers to the angle of a circle. So it's really the angle of a circle, which is all the way around the circle, which is 2 pi, which is the radian angle of a full circle, times r squared over 2. That's really what it is. But we don't want a full circle. We only want to go 171 degrees of a circle, not the full 360. So I got to take my 2 pi and I got to make it not 2 pi because I can make it less. So here we go. Step 1. Let's say the area of our interesting lawn section is Well, it's 171 degrees, but remember, I got to convert that to radians because that's what this says. 2 pi is the angle in radians, so I need to make my new angle in radians. So I will do that by taking 171 times pi divided by 180 degrees. Okay, so that's my angle measurement. And then I take that piece and I'm going to multiply it times the r squared divided by 2. So remember, this 2 pi is in essence that right there. I mean, this isn't 2 pi, this is the partial circle because I'm finding a partial area for my partial shape, okay? But anyway, now the other part is this r squared over 2. Well, in this case, r squared is 22 squared divided by 2. Okay, you take that whole mess and, oh boy, I'm going to have to move it up in parts. That's interesting, isn't it? You take that whole mess and you plug it into the calculator and you're going to get something pretty cool, I think. You're going to get 722.25 square feet. Okay, 722 square feet of lawn. I'm like, wow, that's a lot of lawn for only, not a really big space. But anyway, I guess it's a pretty good yard. So then I'm like, I don't know, is that right? Does that even seem right? So, well, then I'm going to go, well, what would the area of the full yard be if I didn't have that deck in the way? So let's say I had the full circle. So I just used that pi r squared, remember? Just the area of the full circle was pi r squared. Well, in that case, I would actually end up with like 1,520. Now, 1,520 square feet for the full circle is a lot more than this. So, and then, well, this is actually, if you notice the shape, it's less than half of a circle. So half of a full circle, if I took that 1,520 and divided in 2, I would actually get 760. And yes, 720 is a little less than 760. So you can see, yeah, this is not quite a half a circle. So I suppose I could believe that answer. Either way, I'll just go spend the money and buy my grass seed, and I guess things will go pretty well. All right. That's a pretty good video, I think.